Colorado Rangerbred is a little-known horse breed here in Nebraska, but they are very near and dear to my heart. My family has been in the Rangerbred business for over 60 years, and my great-aunt and uncle Lauren and Vera Nisley brought back this breed from near obscurity. These beautiful laid-back horses have a fascinating history, very desirable characteristics, have had significant impact on the horse industry, and have been a part of my family for generations. Rangerbreds have a long history, and they date all the way back to Ulysses S. Grant. Before he became president, Grant took a world tour, and he visited the Sultan Abdul Hamid of Turkey. And as a token of friendship, the Sultan granted Grant two stallions, Leopard, an Arabian, and Linden Tree, a Barb. These horses arrived in Virginia in early 1879, and they immediately caught the attention of Randolph Huntington, a great American horse breeder. Grant gave Huntington permission to use the stallions to perfect his bloodlines, but unfortunately in 1906 the financial collapse of Huntington forced him to disperse his herds. According to ColoradoRanger.com, in 1894, General W.L. Colby, an old Army friend of Grant's, had extensive ranch holdings in Beatrice, Nebraska. He persuaded his old comrade to let him bring Leopard and Linden Tree, now aged stallions, for only a single breeding season. Here, for only one short summer, the two desert stallions left an indelible impression upon the native mares on the Colby Ranch. Here was cradled the new breed of cow horses, later to be named the Colorado Rangers. Within months, the qualities of these horses were renowned, and a group of Colorado ranchers sent their most respected horseman, Ira Whipple, to purchase a stallion and a herd of mares. The stallion purchased was a white horse with black ears named Tony. No one thought much about his coloring at the time. He was purchased for his cow handling qualities and not for his color. But in fact, Tony is what was called a few spot leopard, and he carried the gene that produced spotted coats and offspring. The crosses made between Tony and the mares from Colby produced excellent horses with a natural instinct for cattle work. Many foals were also wildly colored, and the idea was born to consider coloring in the breeding process. In the early 20th century, Mike Ruby of the Lazy J Bar Ranch bought two of Tony's sons, stallions named Patches and Max. He used these stallions as the foundation sires of the new breed, in which unusual coloring was seen more and more frequently in his herd of more than 300 mares. So, in essence, the Colorado Ranger was developed by Mike Ruby, who kept meticulous records on every foal that he bred. These included foaling dates, coat patterns, and complete pedigrees, and are still in existence today, with all horses still being recorded by hand in these ledgers, as well as by more modern methods in the Colorado Ranger breed history, states Crystal Ekinger. Today, color is one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, for considering crosses in Rangerbred horses. They are often confused with Appaloosa horses, but in fact they are an older registry than the APHC. A number of Colorado Ranger horses, because of their Barb heritage, have exhibited the same coat color patterns as the Appaloosa. As a consequence, many Rangerbreds have been double registered within the Appaloosa Horse Club, states my great-aunt Vera Nisley in her book, A Kingdom for My Horse. In addition to their beautiful and unusual coloring, they have many other characteristics that make these horses very special. According to Judith Dutson, Colorado Ranger horses stand between 14.2 and 16 hands. A hand is equal to 4 inches for those of you who don't speak horse. The head should be well-shaped and small, with a straight profile and pointed ears. The legs are well-muscled and of good solid bone. Now, their body conformation was what first made the Rangerbreds so popular in the early 20th century. They were the ideal cattle horse, and their athleticism and their endurance made them unrivaled. They were so popular, in fact, that Mike Ruby began leasing out his herds to other ranchers looking to improve their quarter horse and Appaloosa stock. There is no doubt that some of these Rangerbred bloodlines were in some of the early quarter horse and Appaloosa horses, states Fran Lynn Hoggs. Research has found CRHA registered lines in the Old National Quarter Horse Breeders Association registry and in various Appaloosa lines. Another reason these horses were in such high demand was their personality. They had such an easygoing disposition. They were very people-friendly and loved attention. They are very calm and laid back, which makes them even more desirable. Now, the Ranger-bred personality was what first attracted my great-aunt and uncle Lauren and Vera over 60 years ago. They were searching for a stallion to cross with their Appaloosa mares when they first stumbled across the Ranger-bred bloodline. They found the stallion Lochleven and fell in love with his disposition and his coloring. They began to scour the countryside for more of these speckled horses and began experimenting with color crosses. While they were testing their color theories, they still considered all of their horses Appaloosas. They had no idea what they really had were Rangerbreds until they found a second stallion, Granite Canyon. He had an unknown pedigree, but further investigation into his background unearthed the Colorado Ranger Horse Association. Lauren and Vera immediately applied for membership, but they were only able to locate 6 other members, one of which was David Ruby, the son of Mike Ruby. They had a long road to restoring the Rangerbreds, but they worked hard to reestablish the breed over the next 40 years, moving from Idaho to Canada to Israel and finally to Tucson, Arizona, where my Aunt Vera is still kicking it at age 96. But after the death of Lauren, Vera was unable to keep up with the horse herds and they were slowly sold off. One of their stallions, my Dauntless Dandy, was inherited by my mom. She had spent many summers with her Aunt Vera on the ranch and learned to love the Rangerbreds. My mom immediately began searching for a mare to cross with Dandy. He was a direct descendant of Granite Canyon, and both my mom and my great aunt wanted to keep that bloodline going. We found the mare Nasty's Little Shadow and were delighted to find Foundation CRHA bloodlines in her pedigree, and our own family horse herd was started. Out of Dandy and Shadow, we've had 6 foals, but have only kept 2, my horse, Little Miss Granite, and my mom's horse, Dandy Stormy Night. Now, I've had the pleasure of working with these horses for the last 15 years, and they have such a rich history and are the sweetest, gentlest horses I've ever been around. They're very little known, and it's a shame people don't know more about these durable, dependable horses. They're a big part of my life, and they will stay that way.